welcome. Today we are going to see about application of common emitter configuration of a transistor. So in this case we are using transistors for several purposes. Okay. There are main three configurations of transistors. They are common base, common emitter and common collector. You all know that. So in this three configuration, common emitter configuration is widely used. So the main applications which are being used for common emitter configuration of a transistor are, it is extensively used in an electronic switch and it is being used as a signal amplifier in both of the electronic circuits. Okay, so the two main applications, one is electronic switch and the second one is a signal amplifier. So in case of electronic switch, it is going to, that is the transistor is going to act as a switch, automatic switch. Okay, in the second case it is going to amplify the input signal you are giving into the transistor. So we will see in graphics how these things are being happening. First, in case of an switch, how the transistor is working. So to make the transistor to work as a switch, a square pulse signal is applied to its base. So to turn on and turn off the transistor, or to turn on and turn off a device with the help of a transistor, you are going to control the base voltage and current which is being provided as an input to the transistor. So this is the complete circuit diagram of the configuration, how it is being used as a switch. So here you will be seeing a transistor, NPN transistor, and this is the emitter, this is the base and this is the collector, and the emitter is being grounded. Okay, and the collector is being connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and here the base is connected with the switch. After the switch you are having a 10 kilo ohm resistance. After that it is also being connected to the same battery as that of collector. Next you can see the collector terminal is connected to a resistance of 300 ohm. So this 300 ohm resistance is said to be the load resistance. Okay. Now let us move in. So the base emitter voltage VBE should be 0 or positive volt. So to turn on and turn off the transistor, you know you are going to apply a square pulse. So while you are applying a square pulse, there will be a positive pulse as well as a 0. That is a 0 end as well as a higher end, which is the positive volt. So both the voltages 0 volt and a positive volt is being applied at the base terminal with the help of this switch. When you turn on the switch, the positive supply which is from the battery is being fed into the base with the help of the current limiting resistor of 10 kilo ohm. Next, in the case when it is being turned off like this, the supply will not enter into the base, and so that it will not work. The transistor will not be worked, so it is said to be in 0 volt. So let us see. Consider when input base emitter voltage VB is 0 volt. For this circuit, you may see the switch is in turned off state. So the VBE voltage, the base and the emitter voltage, when you measure across this, it will give you a 0 volt. You can see these things. The voltage across VB is nearly 0. It is in millivolt. Okay. Next, the base current IB is 0. So since there is very less voltage with the approximate to 0, you may see the current flowing into the base is 0. So you see here the IB current, base current IB is 0 amperes. Next, there will be a no collector current IC. Since you are not providing the base current, you can see the collector current is not also flowing, it is stopped. So if you see here, the IC current, IC is equal to 497.794 picoamperes. It is very less, so that the load resistance will not work, or the connected device over here will not work. So irrespective of the base current is 0, the collector current is also 0, so the emitter current is also 0. So in the next case, so the current through the load resistance RL, 300 ohm resistance, is 0. So there is no base current, so there is no collector current, so there is no load resistance current RL, so everything is said to be in 0 state. In this state, the transistor is known as cutoff region. So this state is known as cutoff region of a common emitter configuration transistor. Transistor will act as an open switch in the cutoff region. So in this state, the current which is flowing through the load resistance and through the collector is 0. So it is said to be, it is in an open state, open switch. So the mathematical equation shows that VCE, that is the collector emitter voltage, the voltage across the collector and emitter, will be equivalent to VCC minus ICRL. So the VCC is the supply of the battery, so the supply voltage, minus IC is the current which is flowing through the load resistance. In this case it is 0, and the load resistance RL is 300 ohm. So once you substitute these values, you will get VCE is equal to VCC, because the collector current is 0 and the load resistance RL is 300 ohm. So multiplied by 0, it will become 0. So the voltage across the collector emitter VCE is equal to VCC, that is the battery voltage. In the next state, the transistor is going to be turned down. Okay, so what happening? You are supplying a base current and a voltage by turning on this switch. Okay. Consider when the input base emitter voltage VBE is positive. So in this case, you may see the base emitter voltage is positive. So you can see the base emitter voltage increases to a value of 658.597 millivolt, which is 0.6 volt. So I am applying a voltage of 0.6 volt across the base emitter junction. So what happens? The base current IB is positive. So now the base current starts to flow. You see very lesser amount of current is flowing into the base. So in this case, the IB current is 433.14 microamps. From picoampere, a microampere of current is flown into the base of the transistor. This causes the collector current to be available. So there will be a flow of collector current IC. You may see the electrons are flowing from the collector terminal towards the emitter terminal. So this current is flowing from the 300 ohm resistance towards the collector, and it again flows back through the emitter and returns to the battery. So now the collector current is flowing. So the current flows through the load resistance RL. In this case, once the collector current starts to flow, the current also flows through the load resistance RL, because it is in the same vicinity. Okay, it is the same wire or it is the same line. So once it starts to flow through this point, so the electrons also move through the resistance and turn on this resistance or the load which is being connected over here. In this state, transistor is said to be in the saturation region. So this state of the transistor, where the base current is present and the base emitter voltage is present, and there is a flow of current through the collector terminal, in this state the transistor is said to be in saturation region. The transistor acts as a closed switch. So in the previous case, you may see the transistor will act as an open switch when there is no base current. So in this case, when there is a base current, the transistor will act as a closed switch. So this is the next topic or the next application. You may see the transistor is being used as a signal amplifier. So in signal amplification, most of the cases the transistor is the best for amplifying the signals. You may wonder what are the signals. The signals represent the physical waves which are present outside or being transformed into the electrical waves are known as signals. So in case if a patient is present and you are going to take ECG for the patient, then you may see the graph will be plotted, the ECG graph will be plotted. So this ECG graph is a signal. And where does the signal comes from? The signal comes from the heart of the patient. So the heart functioning is captured by a sensor and is being converted into an electrical signal, and this electrical signal will be a very lesser in quantity. That is, it will be measured in very less voltage of picovolt or picoamperes. This should be increased or magnified to measure the correct range or to see what is happening. To do so, you need to amplify the lesser range of signal into a higher range of signal. For this case, you need to use a transistor. Similarly, there are multiple applications for signal amplification. The next case, what they will be having here is, you may wonder, you will be using a stereo amplifier to hearing music in your house or a home audio system. In this case, you will be using a mobile phone to connect through your amplifier. The output from your mobile phone is very less and it cannot be played in an external speaker which is in 6 inches or 8 inches speaker. In this case, you need to amplify the signal from your microphone or your slot, that is the headset slot coming out from your mobile phone. In this case, you need to use an amplifier which is made up of a transistor. So in this case, the transistor will amplify your song which is played in your mobile phone, and it is being amplified and then sent back to the 6-inch or 8-inch speaker, which will helps to hear you in a louder way. So this is the application for signal amplification of a transistor. So the first point here is the AC signal which is need to be amplified is connected to the base. So you may wonder, this circuit is having a lot of components, but don't worry, this is very easy. So I will explain you one by one. Okay, this is the transistor, NPN transistor. You may see this is the base, this is the emitter, and this is the collector. Okay, so similar to that of a switch, you are having the components such as the two resistance. One is above and one is below the collector and emitter terminal. After that, this is being connected to the 20 volt supply, and this emitter is being connected through a 1 kilo ohm resistance and it is being grounded. In the next case, for the base, what they are done, you are going to apply the AC signal. So in this case, while you are applying a AC signal, you may see the AC signal has a positive peak as well as a negative peak. So while you apply these types of signals, what happens? The transistor will be working in forward biased. While you apply the negative peak, the transistor will become reverse bias and it will not work. To stop this thing, you are going to superimpose the sine wave into a DC wave. To do this, you are using a potential divider over here. Okay, so this is the potential divider circuit which is being used to make the transistor always be biased in the proper direction irrespective of the sine wave. So let us see one by one. So the output is taken across the load resistance RL of 1 mega ohm. So here you can see from the collector terminal, you are connected a capacitor of 5 microfarad. After that you are having the output of 1 megaohm, and here you are collecting the output, that is the input sine wave is provided along the base. Okay. So this is the input. After the input you are having a capacitor. After the capacitor you are providing the supply into the base. After the base you are getting the output through this capacitor, and the output is being delivered out. Okay. So you may wonder why you are using a capacitor over here. So the capacitor plays a major role because the semiconductor devices are purely based on DC supplies. Okay. When you are using AC supplies with the semiconductor devices, you need to block the AC supply and you need to allow only the DC ranges. To do so, you are using a capacitor. So these capacitors will block the AC supply, block the DC supply and allow the AC supply. So in these cases, after this capacitor, you may see these resistance will act as a potential divider and superimpose the ranges. Now, the base circuit voltage should remain positive irrespective of the input AC voltage. You may know the base emitter voltage should be forward biased, then only the transistor will work. So in the AC supply you are having a negative peak. If the negative peak is being applied here, what happens? The base emitter voltage get a reversed bias. To avoid this, you need to use a potential divider. Okay. So this is the point. Okay, it should be remains positive is the point. Irrespective of the AC signal, the base should remains positive. VBE is the base voltage, summation of base voltage and the AC input voltage. So what happens here? Once in this point, there will be summation of two voltages. Okay, the two voltages are VBB and the VI. So here what happens? The VBB, this potential divider output voltage, plus the input voltage from the signal, that is the input signal, is being added up and it is being converted into the base emitter voltage. So VBB is the bias voltage applied to the base by the potential divider. So the output of the potential divider is taken out. So what happens? The formula to find what is happening in the base of the potential divider, here this is the input, this is the output. VBB will be equivalent to VI, which is the input of the potential divider, into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So what happens here? The 20 volt is the input of the potential divider, and you are having a 10 kilo ohm resistance as well as a 110 kilo ohm resistance. So 20 into 10 divided by 110 plus 10, you will be approximately having a value of 1.667 volt across the base emitter voltage, plus this 1.667 is for VBB. Okay, this is for VBB. Plus you will be having a voltage of input, which is VI, which is provided by the sine wave. So these two voltages are being applied into the base emitter terminal. In this case, these formulas which are being used here is an approximate, because you may see the current which is being diverted into two parts. Okay, so it is not completely entering into the 110 kilo ohm resistance. This current is being diverted into two parts, so that you may see the potential drop across this resistance is different, and this resistance will be different. So the potential divider voltage VBB will be a approximate voltage and always lesser than this value. So while simulating, you may see here the voltage across the base emitter terminal is only greater than 600 millivolt. Okay, you may wonder, it is going on increasing. It is about the peak of 604. So the peak will be 604 millivolt of the VBE. So next, you may see the bias voltage VBB should be higher than the maximum value of the input voltage VI. So if the input voltage of the signal, that is the present here, should be lesser when compared with the bias voltage. Otherwise, the transistor will get a reversed bias and you may not get the output properly, or you may not get the signal amplified correctly. Always the sine wave, that is the signal applied to the base of the transistor, should be lesser, and the input to the collector of the transistor should be higher. That is, the VBE voltage which is present here should be higher than the input applied to the transistor. This causes the base to remain positively biased for both the half cycles. This represents the base emitter voltage which is present here. That is, the VBE voltage which is present here causes the transistor base emitter region should always be in forward biased. In the negative peak, you may see the base emitter voltage is about 580 millivolt. So this is the main case to keep the transistor to be in forward biased in irrespective of the sinusoidal waveform which is being applied in the base of the transistor. AC signal will superimpose on the bias voltage VBB and the base current IB starts flowing. Because you are having a positive signal, and a positive signal is forward biased always, and the positive base current will vary as per the signal. So this causes the transistor to be always in forward biased, and the base current which is applied into the base of the transistor is also positive in nature but changes alternatingly. If the positive half cycle, the input signal and the base voltage gets added up, such a base current is highly positive. So in this case, you may see the base current VBB will be highly positive. Okay, so you can see here the base current. So you may see the sine wave is approaching higher. At this time, the base current is highly positive, about 14 microamperes when it reaches the peak. Similarly, for the next stage in the negative half cycle, so when it is negative, you may see it is highly less positive and it is having a base current of 5 microamperes. So you may see in the negative half cycle, the input signal and the base voltage gets subtracted, such as base current remains positive but its value is lesser. So when you closely watch this point, the base current is 5 microamperes but it is positive but it is less. When the peak reaches in the sinusoidal waveform reaches the positive peak, the base current is about 14 microamperes and it is highly positive. So this is the superimposed sine wave current which is flowing into the base of the transistor. So this base current, because of this variation in the base current, causes a large variation in the collector current. So this variation, this very small amount of change in the base current as it is cloned from the AC supply or the AC signal as an input is having a very large variation in this collector current IC. This causes the amplified voltage across the load. Once this happens, you may see the output voltage across the load gets. In both the applications, you may see the transistor is being used as a switch as well as it is being used as a signal amplifier in the circuits. The basic example or the practical example, while it is being used as a switch, is it is being used in automating application. In lifetime or in a real time, you may see street lights which are being turned on and off when the sunlight is present or the sunlight is absent. So it will turn on when it is in the evening time, and it will turn on till the sunlight reappears in the morning time. Once the sunlight appears, the light will be turned off. So in this case, what happens, according to the light, the transistor is being controlled and the street light is being controlled by the transistor. This happens with the help of this circuit. Okay, here with the, instead of the switch is being connected to the base terminal of the transistor, light dependent resistance is connected across the base terminal, so that the actuating signal to turn on and turn off is being provided with the help of the light dependent resistance into the base terminal, and this will control the light or a lamp which is connected in the street. So in case of signal amplification, you may see the basic example is to amplify a audio signal or a ECG signal or a spectrum or any RF signal. Everything or a signal can be amplified, which represent a weaker signal in case of lower voltage and a lower magnitude is being amplified to a higher voltage and a higher magnitude, and it is being used to obtain the required output, is being used in this case of amplifier. So thank you.